Curry. There's three Kings there. Gets it to Draymond, down to 5. Klay Thompson at 3. Klay for the win. Good! I told you. Klay Thompson is still out.
This NHL team might have just lost their best player. New Jersey Devils superstar Jack Hughes has taken the league by storm over the past few seasons. Last night against the St. Louis Blues on a slight breakaway, Hughes took a tumble into the boards and looks to have injured his upper body. Now Hughes left the game and never returned, and reports seem to indicate that it was a serious upper body injury. Reports have recently come out though saying that Hughes' injury isn't as bad as we first thought, and he'll get a reevaluation to decide how much time he'll need to miss. Now Hughes has been phenomenal for the Devils over last season and the start of this year, having 99 points last year and starting off the season with 20 points in less than 10 games. He's been a force on the power play, having 12 points on the season with the man advantage, and has been incredibly lethal for the Devils. But if Hughes misses some time, we could see the Devils going from a Stanley Cup favorite team all the way down to a potential wild card team. But what do you guys think? If Jack Hughes misses a significant amount of time, are the Devils in some serious trouble, or do you think they'll be okay playing without him? This NHL team is surprising the entire hockey world. This season, the Anaheim Ducks were projected to be one of the worst teams in the NHL after a very odd summer of holding out on contracts, surprise draft picks, and trade rumors. The Ducks were set to enter the 2023-24 season with very similar expectations to last year. After starting the season with a 1-4 record, the Ducks look to be heading in the same direction of first overall favorite yet again. But after this weird start, the Ducks seem to have found something special throughout their lineup. Players like Vatrano and McTavish have found a great success in scoring this season, leading the Anaheim Ducks to 6 straight wins against some pretty solid opponents like the Bruins and Golden Knights. The Ducks now look to expand on their win streak with a pretty soft schedule ahead, including teams like the Sharks and Flyers right around the corner, with the Pacific now being completely up in the air after the Oilers and Flames rocky start. The Ducks could have a chance to make the playoffs this year if they continue to compete throughout the season. But what do you guys think? Is this a fluke for Anaheim to be in this position, or has this team finally developed a playoff caliber roster?
The Vancouver Canucks are good. Usually when I'm making a video on this team right about now, they're usually like 2-9-1. Well, instead they're 9-2-1. It's pretty surreal how, the division they're in is so bad and they've used that to their advantage. Not to discredit them at all, they've been really good, but definitely that's part of it. They just look so different overall from last year, and there were so many questions too. How is Quinn Hughes going to do with his captaincy? How is Demko going to do after a horrible season? And is Elias Pettersson really going to stay in Vancouver after this year? Well, I'd say all those problems have pretty much been solved, at least right now. Pettersson leading the way with 21 points in 12 games. It seems like every single Quinn Hughes game I watch, he scores like 4 points. And additionally, too, guys like Besser and Miller all look great. And Demko with less than 1.7 goals allowed through those 9 games he's played. Man, he's looked great. They have a very easy schedule in November. So my question to you guys is this team going to be a playoff team this year?
Edmonton Oilers could be repeating history. After the Oilers' slow start to the year, Edmonton decided to relieve their head coach Jay Woodcroft from his duties. Now this has received some backlash from both media and fans because Woodcroft should have been the last to blame for the Oilers' lack of success. After the firing, Connor McDavid came out and talked about how he wasn't included in the decision to let go of Woodcroft or the decision to replace him. Now McDavid is not playing up to his usual standards, and for the first time since 2015, he isn't averaging a point per game. Clearly he's frustrated with the Oilers decisions around coaching and the roster, which isn't ideal if you have the best player in the game frustrated on your team. Now, the Oilers are no stranger to having this best player on their roster, and when Gretzky was on top of the world, they couldn't manage to keep him on the team. So if the Oilers keep messing around with the coaching and the roster, could we see them repeating history by letting Connor McDavid walk by not supporting him with the right pieces? But I want to know what you guys think. Do you see Connor McDavid leaving Edmonton if things keep trending this way for the Oilers?
Let's rank these NFL divisions 1 through 8 very clearly at the top, all right? Very clearly at the top. All of these teams have winning records. If the playoffs were to start right now, all 4 would be in. Probably all within the top 12. 4 of the top 12 teams in the entire NFL right now are all in the AFC North. We have 2 huge matchups this week that will determine a lot going forward into seeing who wins the division, who gets into the playoffs. It's going to be really fun. Next up, you probably gotta go the AFC South, which is crazy. But if we really think about it, we have the Jags at the top of this right now, but then we have the Texans and Colts, who are a lot more competitive than we ever thought them to be. 2 new head coaches, 2 rookie quarterbacks, obviously Richardson going out, so now they have a backup quarterback in for the Colts and still have a 500 record. So impressive. NFC East is so fun. AFC East is fun. Man, you guys are really, I haven't even thought through this, so I'm just really speaking out loud right now. I think you gotta go AFC East. Obviously, the Bills have been just drastically disappointing, just as an NFL fan, let alone a Bills fan. You got the Dolphins at top of it, who haven't really beaten anyone that with over a 500 record. You got the Jets, who are still trying to compete. We'll see if Aaron Rodgers comes back. And then the Patriots, obviously 2-8, just very disappointing there. Then you have the AFC West, who is more competitive than I thought they would be as well, for what it's worth. Yeah. I mean, who's at the bottom of this? The Broncos and the I think the Raiders are second with a record of 5-5. The Chargers right behind them, then the Broncos. So all of these teams are kind of right on the edge of 500 as well. Obviously, the Chiefs are at the top of it by a lot, but all right. Then we got the NFC East. You got to put the NFC East in here. Did I really put all the AFC? Oh, wow. I might get clowned for that. But NFC East, you have the Eagles so strongly atop of this one, but the Cowboys and them, that's a fun one. The Commanders are competitive. Giants might be arguably one of the worst teams in the league. Then you have the NFC West. This one at least has the 49ers and Seahawks atop of it being very competitive. Rams and Cardinals, not as much. But with Kyler coming back, we'll see how the Cardinals do. Then we have the NFC North. We got the Lions atop of this one and the Vikings right behind them, but I think the Lions will end up winning this one. The Packers and Bears have been so disappointing. I thought going into this season, this division right here could be more competitive, but hasn't been. Then the NFC South, my least favorite division in the NFL. For what it's worth, it's competitive because they all suck. What do you guys think?
Are the Minnesota Wild a playoff team this season? The Minnesota Wild are one of those teams where there's a big question mark surrounding this hockey club. Right now they sit 6th in the Central Division with a record of 5-8-2, and people are starting to get worried after their slow start. Not only are the Wild kind of struggling to put pucks in the back of the net, but their defense and goaltending has been awful. Now what if I told you there's not a single person on this roster who's currently in the positives of plus minus outside of 3 players? I mean, when guys like Kirill Kaprizov are a -11, you have to start scratching your head a little bit about what's going on with this team. Every single year, the Wild have never gotten past the second round, and it's tough for an organization who has finally found the face of their franchise in Kirill Kaprizov, and he's playing pretty solid to start the year with 15 points already in 15 games played. Other guys like Matt Zuccarello and Joel Eriksson-Ek are also playing pretty solid, having 14 points and 16 points on the year as well. So when it comes to their back end, they're just not doing so hot. They can't keep the puck out of their own net, and that's really destroying their chances chances this year. Now, I'm not sure if signing Philip Gustafson was a bad move for the Wild, but it's not looking so great to start this year. I mean, Gustafson right now has allowed 33 goals already on the season and has an .872 save percentage with a 4.64 goals against average. Their average between him and Fleury is a 4.20, which is just gross. But I want to know what you guys think. What do you think the Wild should do next?
Cook chicken. When I'm in a rush, I wear gloves. One piece at a time, so it cooks evenly. Chicken hand. It also tenderizes the meat. Consistent thickness and tenderize at the same time. There you go. You can marinate it overnight, but I don't have the time. We're gonna do the juice of a lemon. Acid. 3 cloves garlic. A quick marinade. 1, 2, 3. Whatever I have left of oregano. 1 teaspoon garlic powder. 1 teaspoon salt. Bunch of pepper. Like half a teaspoon. So I guess it's not a bunch. Teaspoon of sweet paprika. And a little tiny bit of honey. Some mustard. Dijon, and some oil, like 2 tablespoons. The base of this is oil, lemon, salt, pepper, garlic. And then you add your favorite spices. I usually do this right in whatever it's going to marinate in, but we're not marinating it. We're just gonna put it right on the grill. I'm gonna let that hang out for a little while I figure out what else to make for dinner. We're going very simple because it's a quick dinner. Into the bowl, salt, some garlic powder. Don't ask me how much. I have no idea. Some olive oil, pep, and anything that's left in there from the chicken. Second life. Oh, wow, that was good. Oh, we forgot one. Could always add more seasoning when they're cooked. Now let's cook the chicken. Give it a spray, because that's what I would do on the grill. 2 minutes on each side. When we use our best judgment too, by the way. And while the chicken's going, this is where I lose control. And we're gonna put it on the grill pan. Gotta draw the water out. Salt the other side. The water will be drawn out when the pan has room for them. That's done. 5 minutes in total. Check on the zoot. Beautiful. I don't like my zucchini mushy. That's why I did it thick. Woo. That was about 5 minutes aside. 5 minutes got me that, and we're gonna do 5 minutes on the other side and take them off. Chicken is done. It's so good. Tender, full of flavor. It feels like right here on your hand when it's done. 2.5 minutes aside, 5 minutes in total cook time. Medium heat, perfect every time. I don't know. Use a thermometer if you're scared. Yum. Bye. And it's so hot. Perfectly cooked. Needs salt. But that's all it needs. So good. Burn my mouth.
Mom, no phones at the table.
You are correct. Chicken,
No
egg,
phones
egg,
no
edamame.
screens at the table. If you have a screen, you have to put it somewhere else.
Welcome to a new series that I'm making. It's called Cooking with Snake Beast. And on the first episode, I'm going to be showing y'all how to grill buffalo wings. So obviously, first things first, fire up the grill. And of course, there's a thermometer right there. Of course, you want to wait till it warms up to 300 degrees or 350 before you put your wings on the grill. Okay, now that we're at 350, time to throw our wings on the grill. And then line them up course, the biggest ones you want to put at the center, because the center is the hottest part. There we go. Cook each side for 5 minutes before flipping them also. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, flip each side twice for 5 minutes. Here we are about to do the second flip. You want to cook them until they're a goldish brown. Yeah, those two are stuck together. I'll probably rip them apart later. Now the wings are that goldish brown color, which means they're done. So I'm gonna throw them all into this bowl right here. Now for the fun part, saucing them up. Here we have Frank's Red Hot Buffalo Sauce. There we go. I also like to put a little garlic salt on them. After all that, we shake them up like this. And now they're all covered in that spicy goodness. And now here's the final result. Let's eat.